The do's and don'ts of driving. Dun dun dun. How not to deal with semis. Dun 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 dun.
Totally just stay in this blind spot and see what happens. Or, you could just follow really close behind it.
Stop it.
Really wanted to, you could just do a sudden stop in front of a semi.
Stop.
Or you could try to race a semi to the intersection.
How to deal with semis. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Semis have big blind spots, so don't travel in them. Semi-trucks are very big vehicles that require more stopping distance, so make sure you give them that distance. Don't try to squeeze in that gap, because the semi may need the extra room to negotiate the turn. Don't follow behind a semi too closely, because they are very big and will obstruct your view. Now for the facts. According to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, a total of 3,852 people died in large truck crashes in 2015. 16% of these deaths were truck occupants, 69% were occupants of cars and other passenger vehicles, and 15% were pedestrians, bicyclists, or motorists. So stay safe out there around semis. I don't want to see you guys become another number.
How not to deal with aggressive drivers.
When somebody cuts you off, you can just cast a Wingardium Leviosa.
Wingardium Leviosa!
When somebody's tailgating behind you, you can just brake check them.
Stop following too close, no brake check! Harry Potter.
Now when somebody honks at you, you can just turn around and give them the finger.
You cut in front of me, honk honk! Finger! Finger up! How to deal with aggressive drivers.
When an aggressive driver cuts in front of you, try to distance yourself from them and leave an open space. When an aggressive driver honks at you, just ignore them.
Honk honk!
So, when someone's tailgating you, leave more room in front of you for a buffer zone or try to change lanes. Don't tailgate someone just because you're in a hurry. Make sure to maintain the 4 seconds following distance at all times. Make sure to leave plenty of room when passing someone so you don't cut in front of them, because that would be rude and dangerous.
The facts are, as reported by the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety, 106,727 fatal crashes, about 55.7% of the total, during a recent 4-year period involved drivers who committed one or more aggressive driving actions. How not to deal with trains.
You could totally just try to beat the train. The tracks really do make a wonderfully scenic place to stop. Whoa. Look at what you did.
How to deal with trains.
Always wait for trains. Trains can't stop nearly as fast as you can and will kill you.
I'm glad he didn't run into me.
When approaching a train track, take your foot off the gas and roll over the tracks, because the vibrations of a nearby train could shut your engine off, and you never want to stop on the tracks. According to Operation Lifesaver, the rail safety education website, 2,025 people were involved in collisions involving trains in 2016, and 265 of those collisions had some sort of fatality. So don't try to beat that train, because you won't win.
How not to deal with the cops.
When a cop car has their lights on, you can probably just gas it and you'll totally outrun them. Now, when there's a cop in an emergency vehicle behind you, you don't gotta pull over, they'll go around. Probably. Stoplight and there's nowhere to go, and there's a cop behind you, make a place to go.
Oh no, there's a cop behind me.
Close enough.
How to deal with the police.
Police officers trying to pull you over, signal right and pull to the right shoulder. So, when a cop or an emergency vehicle is responding to an emergency, pull over to the right when safe and allow them to pass. When stopped at a stoplight and the emergency vehicle is responding to an emergency, stay put until it's safe to move out of the way.
The fine for eluding police officers by speeding up away from them is a minimum of $500 for the first offense, and it is $1,000 for any subsequent offenses. It can also be more depending on the circumstances. How not to deal with the ice.
When you see ice, just go as fast as possible to get right through it. Now, while traveling over ice and you feel the loss of traction, just panic and let Jesus take the wheel. So, go ahead and brake hard on ice, because the spinning sensation is pretty fun, actually.
How to deal with the ice.
When you see ice, don't brake hard. In fact, don't brake at all. Take your foot off the gas to avoid causing a skid. When you see ice, slow down before to avoid causing any skids or reduce the loss of traction. If you feel yourself losing traction when going over ice, look and steer the way that you want to go and take your foot off the brake and gas until you regain control. So, a new study says more than 800 people die in the U.S. each year due to car crashes caused by snow, sleet, and freezing rain.
How not to deal with pedestrians.
Now, if you see a pedestrian on the sidewalk, just crash into him. You'll get extra points for pink shirts. Now, if you see a pedestrian trying to cross a crosswalk, just crash into him. All pedestrians are scrubs, and they should learn how to drive. Now, you don't have to watch for pedestrians, especially small children. It's not like they're gonna jump out and run in front of you. So now, if there's a pedestrian riding a skateboard or a bicycle, you don't need to worry about them. They're cool enough to take care of themselves. Probably, maybe. If you see a pedestrian on the side of the road trying to hitchhike, go ahead and pick them up, especially if they're attractive. It's not like they're gonna be a serial killer or anything.
Hey, yeah, can I get a ride? Sure. Hops in car. Murder! I'm a serial killer! How to deal with pedestrians.
Please don't run over pedestrians on the sidewalks. Even ugly little girls have families too.
Thank you for not running me over, mister.
When you're at an intersection and a pedestrian's crossing a crosswalk, you must yield to all pedestrians and wait until they finish your lane and 6 feet in the next lane. Now, when you see small children on the side of the road, always be extra vigilant because they may run out in front of you. When you see a pedestrian on a bicycle or a skateboard, allow them to have some extra room in case they crash.
Yay, skateboarder Dobby survived. He didn't get ran over this time.
Yield to all pedestrians that are crossing the road or showing the intent to cross, whether or not they're at a marked or unmarked crosswalk. Please don't pick up hitchhikers, even if they do look attractive.
Darn, he ruined my plan of murdering him. According to the Pedestrian Safety Motor Vehicle Safety CDC Injury Center, in 2013, 4,735 pedestrians were killed in traffic crashes in the United States. This averages to one crash-related pedestrian death every 2 hours. How not to deal with distractions.
You see, cell phones are a hip new technology, and everyone should be using them, especially while you're driving. It's a great way to multitask.
Mom,
see, if your child is really annoying you, just use your feet to steer the wheel and turn around and beat them into next week. If you're listening to music, first of all, you gotta listen to the good music. Second of all, you gotta do the dance. And third of all, crank that crap up. Now, if you see something really cool outside the window, go ahead and look at it. It's not like you're gonna crash or anything.
How to deal with distraction.
If you get a text or call on your cell phone, just leave it until you're done driving. It's not worth your life. It's fine if you're gonna listen to music while driving, just keep it down and pay attention to the road. Alright, distractions outside of your vehicle can be very dangerous if you're not paying attention to where you're going, so always make sure to look ahead. Each day in the United States, over 8 people are killed and 1,161 injured in crashes that are reported to involve a distracted driver.
This has been some of the do's and don'ts of driving.
Driving is a really big responsibility, so please stay safe out there. I can't even see. Your hand's in the way. Hold him from the front. Or there you go. No, yeah, there. Okay. Okay, your hand's in the way. Can you hold him from the side? Thank you. Okay, ready? Don't travel in the vehicle's blind spot. Messed up. Semis are very... Dang it, I didn't even record it. Ah! Don't tailgate someone just because you're in a hurry. Make sure to maintain the minimum of 4 If you feel yourself losing traction over ice, look and steer where you want to go and take your foot off the gas until you maintain or regain control. We're gonna read. You lose traction on ice, look and steer where you want to go, and if you feel yourself losing you must yield to all pedestrians that are crossing the road. God dang it! Oh God, why?